After mowing 3 people's lawns and having a panic attack yesterday, I decided to record this video without any makeup, or really any effort into myself, because sometimes life is just too hard and I just need to get this done because content can't stop. After the initial release of the first 2015 Descendants movie, they released an animated series of several shorts all tied together and stitched into one big story, but it's all cut up into very small segments on all of their digital platforms, including YouTube. And given that it released the beginning of September of 2015, all the while the film released July, 2 months before, July, June, September, yes, 2 months before, 3, however you count it. It makes me believe that they were creating this animated series alongside the film, which, when I say it out loud, actually makes sense, because if they were really betting on this new IP to be successful, it's actually a smart idea to have a film and an animated series to see which one is more popular, and whichever one is more popular, you go with the one that's more popular and make more of those, while the other just complements it, like advertising for it. Unless they somehow manage to make a whole series in 2 months, a whole animated series, which, yeah, they are like a max of like 2 minutes and 50 seconds in length for each episode, but like animation takes a while. Like, unless they somehow outsourced it to like a ton of different studios, which I don't think they did, because the animation style all looks the same. Can you imagine? There is an alternate universe where the animated series of Wicked World was more popular than the films. We could have had a much, probably better developed story with an animated series, because it's a long form instead of a short form. I would have preferred that better. I love the animation style. I know a lot of people don't. I actually like how they look. I like their designs. I tried to look into the producer and director of this show to like get a better idea of the production of it, but it was, all I really found was them announcing, hey, we did this thing. But I'll be honest, I also didn't really look that hard, because I don't think people really care all that much. I figured you just want me to talk about the cartoon. You know, I look at all this, and I keep trying to think of something constructive to say. I want to compliment it on its animation, or its style, but it's Disney. Great animation is expected from them. It would be noteworthy if it were bad. What is surprising is that they have the original cast to do the voice acting. It's not as surprising given that I'm operating under the assumption that this was created alongside the production of the film. But anytime they can get the original voices, that's noteworthy.
You're a true friend, Jane. Beware, forswear, replace the old with something really out there? Do I look different?
Ah, I see. So Jane has magic. Now that I'm watching this after seeing all the movies, it's kind of weird that they never touched up on that fact. I wonder how many extra facts they added in this series that they never mentioned in the movies.
She's helping me first. Hey, you stole my lamp!
I'm sorry, who are you?
Cool it, Jordan. Mal will help you when she's done with me.
Jordan? Lamp? Is this the daughter of the genie? Is this a new character? Oh man, they aren't gonna throw a whole bunch of new characters at us, aren't they? They are, they totally are. They're absolutely doing that. I bet the wiki devs were having a field day combing through all these videos. But as I say this in retrospect, I should have edited the script. There was like 3 new characters. 4, 5? It was like 5. 5 new-ish. Something like that. It's not that crazy. It's not a crazy amount. I'm also certain that at least one of them, regardless of how little screen time they have, is somebody's comfort character.
Hey guys, Jay got me a new phone.
Yikes! Is that Carlos? He doesn't even look anything like Cameron Boychie. Is this one of those situations where they intentionally didn't make it look like them so that they wouldn't have to pay them more for using their likenesses like they did with that one Marvel game that flopped? I'm not cool with this. Every episode is a continuation of the last, so the only reason they would divide it into all these short episodes is just to have content to release over a long period of time. The nice thing about having a series animated is that they can have way more settings, and with a longer series, you get to add small details about the characters that fleshes out their personality.
We really need to teach them how to smack talk.
Do you remember the Your Mama battles that we used to have?
Yo mama's so soft, the only spell she casts apples are crying spells. Yo mama's so weak, instead of poison apples, she makes apple pie.
Yo mama's so stupid she took a ruler to bed to see how long she slept. Yo mama's so stupid she sold her car for gas money. Yo mama's so stupid she put lipstick on her forehead just to make up her mind. Yo mama's so stupid she puts on a bathing suit to play pool. Yo mama's so ugly, she entered an ugly contest and they said, sorry, no professionals allowed. Or the classic, yo mama's so fat when she lays around the house, she lays around the house. Or yo mama's so stupid, when she heard it was chilly outside, she grabbed a spoon. Yo mama's so old, she walked out of the museum and the alarm went off. You have no idea how many of these I have. I'm realizing now, this was actually like a big part of me of growing up. I heard so many Yo Mama jokes. They also keep doing this thing where they show all the characters trying super hard to be trendy and having not so clever meme/posts on their made up social media like every episode. Why did everyone want to do that with these series? Oh wait, they all thought it was a trend. They all thought the internet and phones were a trend and wanted to be trendy, and so the kids, with all the kids, and didn't realize that this would eventually become what's normal now. Wow.
Well. The famous Oradonian kids.
Okay, Freddy, retract your claws.
But I just had them sharpened.
Wait, is that the voice of China Ann McClain? The actress who played Uma? Did they intend her to be Freddy from the beginning? Oh my god, they totally intended her to be Freddy from the beginning. And at the third film, they changed it to Jada Marie for Celia, because they decided that Uma was a better character and they needed China to play her. Whoa. The pieces are all connecting. I gotta be honest, China Ann McClain got a big increase in her character, because like Uma's so much better. Anyway, they all accidentally end up on the aisle and run into Freddy.
That's it! The lamp! Wish we could ask her how we...
You know, I really hate that. That sort of thing when you can tell when the voice actor is supposed to be cut off. You can hear it in their voice and how they deliver it. When they say, I wish I could tell her, and then there's that awkward pause, and then that awkward inflection where they know that they're supposed to stop here because they're supposed to be cut off. That's not how you're supposed to script it. That's not how you're supposed to word it. You're supposed to say the entire sentence and just let the editor cut you off because it's way easier. Motherfucker. And Ben invites Freddy to Oradon Prep and is totally not being manipulated. Ignore the man behind the curtain. Oh wait, that's not a Disney property. Okay, ignore the hand beneath the table.
Oh, that's Ruby, Rapunzel's daughter. Her hair leaves 10 minutes after she does.
Excuse you? That literally makes no sense. Rapunzel only had long hair because Mother Gothel made her grow it out. Why would Rapunzel want her to grow out her hair also? Why would Ruby want to grow out her hair? Because that's just unmanageable and annoying. And let me tell you, Tangled is my favorite Disney movie, so I will not stand for these inaccuracies. And as I'm saying this, it also reminds me that I need to finish the animated series. Oh my gosh, I still haven't finished season 1 of the animated series of Tangled. My goodness. Also, fun side story, in German class in high school, my teacher would get massive migraines, and whenever she did, she would always put on a movie for us to watch. And because it was in German, it was technically considered educational, and she'd always give us like 3 options, and then the entire class would always pick Tangled every single time. I've watched that movie more than any other movie ever. And most of it wasn't, I mostly just watched it in German. I mean, okay, technically it wasn't Tangled because the German version is called Rapunzel, you know, like the actual name, but you know, the marketing and different, you know, it doesn't matter. They also mix up their outfits sometimes, which I always appreciate with any cartoon. And don't worry, there's also songs in this series too. It's almost mandatory now.
Of course I speak dog, I'm Cruella's son.
Excuse you? When? The main focus of the show is having the bad kids learn to be good, but also have the good kids learn to be a little bad. And it's cute seeing them slowly reach an understanding with each other. It really helps bridge what happens between the first and second films. But is there a big plot I can summarize? No. Is this necessary to watch in order to understand the films? Also no. Actually, it makes more sense to not watch it since they, added details that aren't in the movies. And I mention this because I have no idea how to approach this video now. Now that I'm thinking out loud. All I can think of is really making jokes. Crud. But while I'm here, have you heard of my Patreon where you can get custom stickers and trading cards every single month, along with access to my videos months in advance? Links are in the description below.
What I'm saying is I did not take the uniform. I'm sure it will show up soon.
It's not like there's some thief in a cloaked glove running around stealing things.
Maybe I spoke too soon. They decide to all plan a big dance, mishmashing all their ideas into one weird theme. And whatever is stealing everyone's stuff is also trying to make the villain kids look bad. I think the most jarring thing about this series is that they're still operating off of Evie being incredibly vain and self-centered.
Beauty is pain.
That I'm gorgeous.
I know, I really am.
And it also really goes to show how much her character changed just between the first and second films. I didn't realize, but her entire character just kind of flipped, which again, would have been great for us to experience the flipping of her character if they just gave the supporting cast more screen time. But no, they didn't, because it has to be all about Ben and Mal all the time. Also, can we give the designers some props for how they designed the Alice in Wonderland tea house here? Because there's crooked shelves, stacked cups. I mean, the Cheshire Cat thing on the wall is just okay. But all the chairs are different, and the rug is a giant Queen of Hearts. I want that rug. If I had a house, I would get that rug. But I like to keep my dreams realistic. A house? Only in my dreams. Wait, is the tea house right next to the lacrosse field? I mean, I understand reusing assets, but I hope they got a good deal on that building because that is some bad real estate. And the dance is here, and surprise, surprise, it's been sabotaged. And they're all pretty sure Freddie is the one who sabotaged the DJ so she could steal the spotlight. You know, I'm starting to realize that I probably liked the music from Descendants 2 more than the other films. Not because of the songs, but probably just because I really like China Anne McClain. I hear any song she sings, and it reminds me of Calling All the Monsters. And I listen to that song all the time. So there's probably more than just, I like the song. It probably also has to do with a little bit of nostalgia for me. Jay and Carlos show up, and turns out even they're being affected. They were supposed to pick them all up, but their ride was stolen.
Hey, isn't that the mascot?
Oh, good. Jane found it. Found what?
You're not in the mascot uniform.
Yeah. It was stolen, remember? But if you're not in it, then who is?
And then Ben gets nicked. Again. Or for the first time, technically. Then CJ makes a dramatic entrance. Turns out she's the youngest daughter of Captain Hook.
Miss me.
And she stole Ben and most likely everything else. I was hoping there'd be a whole mystery where they Scooby-Doo the whole thing. This kind of takes some of the fun out of it. Also, she doesn't have an accent like Harry Hook has, which means one of two things. One, she's choosing not to have an accent, or two, Harry is choosing to have an accent. Either way is weird. Well, technically she has an American accent because, Americans are so, American-centric, so we technically do have an accent. I absolutely think that Harry just decided to have an accent. He is extremely extra. He carries a hook around just to seem more menacing. And CJ is not okay with Mal and everyone turning good.
Cutting that DJ cord so our little Freddie could have her moment in the spotlight.
Freddie? Surprise?
And Freddie isn't cool playing second in command to CJ and is starting to learn that she has actual friends now and they forgive her. Is there going to be an actual struggle? Are they just gonna talk it through again? That's a rhetorical question, because they do. It's kind of their thing. That's what this series does. They like to be lazy. And then there's another party they're gonna have, where once someone proves they're good, they get their family jewels. Or for the villain kids, they get their family jewels returned to them after they were confiscated.
Maleficent hid your jewel somewhere on the aisle. Everyone looked, but it was never found.
Wait, okay, hang on. Audrey and Mal are hanging out a lot. And if this is supposed to be canon, it kind of breaks the whole aspect of the third movie. Mal and Audrey would be friends in the third movie like they are here. That just gives me more reason to dislike the third movie. Or maybe, you know, Disney decided to just say this isn't canon, because they love doing that. They did it with Star Wars. They go to find the Jewel of the Isle, and after some bonding time, Freddy gives Mal a necklace which gives her glowy green eyes. Can she walk through walls, disappear, and fly? And now there's a creep in the shadows too. We just had CJ as the villain. Are we really getting a new villain? They really just can't deliver on their villains now, can they? Now Mal is being evil for no reason.
Somebody magicked me. Mal? Mal's not like that anymore. If she's still evil, then I'm still plain.
Wait, in the first season, they were always suspicious of the villain kids, but now everyone is defending them? They just flipped it all around now, didn't they?
I think it could look really...
You know what? If this gets Audrey and Mal to hate each other again, that would actually work out pretty well for the final film. The creeper guy steals a bunch of chemicals, Mal goes into the museum and Jane follows her, and she gives Jafar's staff to the creeper guy. And when they confront her, they find out that necklace was her family jewel and make the obvious connection that it's cursed and is affecting her.
Evie, please don't be mad at me. Of course I'm mad at you. You're my best friend, and you don't treat best friends like that.
Even if she was cursed by Maleficent's jewel? Gosh, Evie, you're brutal. And when rushing to the family jewel party, they spot the creeper guy trying to steal the jewels.
Allow me to introductory myself. I am
A llama?
son of Yzma. When Mal came to the Isle, she opened the protective dome for a few precious seconds. Anyway, when she finally left the Isle, I boldly slipped out as the dome was opened.
Also, CJ is back. Thank goodness. They didn't use her at all in season 1. So he shrinks and kidnaps them, crashes the party, and grabs the jewels.
I just can't believe we're missing the Jubilee.
You look great. You know, from one friend to another.
Oh, they were hinting at Carlos and Jane being a couple in the animated series? Well, I guess they did have some plans. Llama Boy summons a bunch of puppets to fight. The Auradon kids come to help, and during the commotion, the tiny troubles are freed. They manage to take the staff away and stop him, along with reverse all the magic he's done. They finally get their not cursed jewels, and they make amends with each other. Also, CJ comes back, and then another dance number. Wow, that was pretty good. Season 2 was definitely better than season 1, I can tell you that. I mean, what was even the point of having CJ be a character? If the whole point was to have Freddy learn what true friendship is, and that, oh wow, she actually has it good here, she doesn't need to be bad anymore, that would have been much better resolved if she just, you know, realized it, gave all the stuff back, and talked to them, instead of having CJ there be like, she was working under me. Let's kind of undermine Freddy's whole character arc. CJ did next to nothing. She was just there. You could have removed her entirely and it would have actually flowed better. Would I recommend watching Wicked World? Well, if you're a Descendants fan, yeah, I would. It's actually pretty good. It's definitely better than the third movie, that's for sure. But if you're not, I mean, like, I'd recommend like watching it like on a plane ride if you just want something new and something fun and something pretty entertaining, if I'm gonna be honest. And something free because it's on YouTube. This isn't really something that rocks your world. And as I mentioned, it's not necessary to watch in order to understand the films. As for if there is any books, which I actually haven't looked into, I assume there were books. Are there books? If there's books, I'd recommend watching it if you're into the books. But then again, that means you're a turbo fan of Descendants, which means you're probably already seen the series. So mentioning that doesn't matter. It is like a dessert. Do you need it? No. But it's really nice to have. The plot, is rushed, but that's because of the format of the series. They don't really want to split the plot into like multiple episodes. They want every episode to have like its own little story that can connect to the next one so that everyone is, at least as best as they can, stand alone. So when they need to beat a villain, they have to do it in one episode, which does mess with the pacing, but with this specific format, I mean, like, I kind of have to just say that's okay because I know what they're trying to do. And I would also do the same thing if I was directing this whole series. I liked it. I liked it pretty well. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Also subscribe and follow me on social media. And also my Patreon. Don't forget about my Patreon, stickers and trading cards. If you give me $1 on Patreon, you don't need to feel bad about using adblock. You are absolved of the grief of using adblock if you use it. If you don't, good on you. I appreciate you. Well, stay beautiful and keep playing.